I boo-hooed. I said, oh, the club put me in there. No. I put myself in there. I did what I had to do as a Hell's Angel.
You know, my daddy always, if you got in a fight and you came home with a bloody nose, did you hit him back? If you didn't hit him back, Dad put you in the car and took you back over there until you're going up in that yard and get your shit done and be a man.
The other walls drove through by tanks, by the FBI gang, and all that shit happened to that chapter, right? Like those guys go through their being a big motorcycle club. It's even sometimes just being a small motorcycle club. You go through your.
A lot of people that have come in have seen definitely a change in the club and the direction that the club is going.
I looked out my window and you could see a body laying out in front. And here's this dude running around up there with no, just had his sweatshirt on. And he tells me he's a Hell's Angel. Even after all that, I still wanted to join the Hell's Angels.
People out there, man, that are just natural followers. And they just fall right in line with that type of program. But not 1%ers, man. 1%ers don't ask permission.
Welcome to this episode of Chattin With Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we're going to talk about the Bandidos leader who was just in court and pleaded guilty to having 3 pounds and a big M. Before we get started, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mother's, brother's, sister's friend about Chattin With Staxx, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. I appreciate all you guys taking the time to watch this show. Make sure you check out Patreon for a lot of exclusive content. I used to have a Patreon before. Now I got it again. So go subscribe. You won't be disappointed. I'm going to be uploading some new content today onto the members and Patreon. So stay tuned for that. A lot of videos are going to be flooding YouTube and Patreon. Wilson, what's going on? Thank you for joining me today. Crazy, what's good? Virginia Chaos is in the building. Social Rejects is in the house. What's good, everybody? We got 16 people in the house so far. Make sure you hit the like button. So we got a lot of things to talk about. Keegan, what's up, man? Shout out to Toronto. Appreciate all you guys. There was a pretty serious motorcycle accident in Hartford, Connecticut today. I have a video. Let's check it out. Pretty crazy. That's right in downtown Hartford. That area right there, that turn, it's usually flooded with traffic. Crazy, a bunch of cars there. It's usually like really congested area. So can't imagine how that even transpired. You know, people like to cut you off there. It's a pretty treacherous stretch of road. So Pablo Sluggo followed you home, Bill. Oh no. Comments make you angry. What's going on? Thank you for joining me today. Mike Lynch is in the building. Idaho. Good morning, Bill from Idaho. You're in Idaho? How you been, Mike? There should be a sizzle reel for the documentary coming out pretty soon. I'm getting damn close. It's been a lot of work, but you guys will like it. I think a lot of you guys will like it. So we got a lot of things to talk about today. Did you guys know Mike Harding, James Harding, my bad. Thinking of Mike. James Harding was arrested. His mugshot was revealed after a weapons arrest. James Harding didn't look too thrilled to be posing in a mugshot early Saturday morning, with the NBA star giving a blank stare after his gun-related arrest. I mean, come on. You got all that money, you can't get a damn gun license or something? So they obtained the booking photo in Houston Police Department showing the 36, damn, he's only 36 years old too, Cleveland Cavaliers guards staring down the camera lens. It says they previously reported Harding was taken into custody around 3:41 a.m. when a handgun was observed on the seat of his car, not in a holster, after being pulled over for a traffic violation. He was charged with misdemeanor unlawful carrying of a weapon, and he was released after paying a $100 bond. He has court later in the month, so we'll see what happens with that. I mean, that's a pretty simple charge, isn't it? Like, not having it in a holster, that's his charge. My favorite part of CT's highway, I don't know. These East Coast and boots do it. My least favorite part. I know it's the highways here are pretty treacherous. Mustang, what's going on? Thank you for joining me today. North Idaho. I'm gonna call you when this is done, Mike. Much respect to Mike Lynch. Wildcard, what's going on? Yeah, you got so much money. Just have a bodyguard with you at all times, right? And you won't need to carry a weapon. Arrested for some dumb shit. It was all because he didn't have it in a holster. I mean, they're trying to take away people's rights, you know? So there's a big uproar. I believe this is in New Jersey over e-bikes. New Jersey e-bikes laws drawing protests, and it's easy to see why. Well, if they're going to be protesting the fucking ICE facility, they better be protesting something else. Now they got little kids out in front of that place. Oh God, these people are insane, right? So when lawmakers set out to tackle the growing problem of reckless riders on high-powered electric motorcycles tearing through the city streets, the goal seemed reasonable enough. But New Jersey's solution has managed to unite a unlikely common coalition of commuters, delivery workers, cargo bike families, even fellow legislators in opposition. And the clock is ticking. The law is set to take in effect July 19, 2026, and the backlash is only getting louder. At the core of the problem is a piece of legislation that threatens, that treats virtually every two-wheeled electric vehicle as if they're all the same machine. A quiet 20-mile-an-hour pedal assist bike that a required school teacher uses to get to the grocery store gets lumped under the same regulatory umbrella as a 50-mile-an-hour electric moto that blows through red lights. Riders advocate, the legal observers argue that not a safety solution. It's a blunt instrument that uses its target entirely. The law requires all e-bike riders to hold a valid state license. I mean, what about targeting just the reckless people who are fucking being assholes, like the kids that are riding all through the streets and, you know, blowing through on sidewalks and plowing people over and shit? Why don't they just target that instead of going after just the bikes in general? It's a fucking bike. Adults who already have a driver's license are technically covered, but younger riders and anyone without one would need to obtain a separate e-bike license. On top of that, registration is mandatory across all three classes of e-bikes. And the question of which vehicle requires insurance is generally enough. It's generated enough confusion that advocacy groups say they're fielding a flood of calls from riders who simply can't figure out what applies to them. Damn, so they're going to be making people get insurance on these fucking things too. Register them, insure them. They're going to make more money off it, right? The State House rally last week drew significant crowds in opposition, has collected more than 2,100 letters. In just a few weeks, the legal organized public resistance that tends to get legislative attention, essentially, when sitting lawmakers are showing up to protest their own state's laws. The problem with painting every e-bike with the same brush. Anyone who has spent time around the e-bike world would understands that the category of a massive range of problems, not the battery kind on one end, and you have class 1, class 2 bicycles, which top out at 20 miles an hour and rely on pedal assist. I mean, anything with a pedal is a fucking bike, right? I mean, they got all these crazy ass laws. These are bikes being used by school communities, grocery runs, and weekend recreation. On the other end are the high-powered electric motorcycles, or e-motos, some capable of keeping pace with traffic, that have become genuine enforcement headache in urban areas across the country. The federal government has long recognized this distinction under federal law. Electric bicycles are defined as vehicles with fully operational pedals and electric motors under 750 watts and top speed of 20 miles an hour. Anything exceeding those parameters are qualified as a motor vehicle or subject to entirely different rules. New Jersey law, critics say, effectively ignores that framework. I mean, they should probably go by what's there for the federal laws, right? I mean, they're going to be classifying these fucking things as motorcycles. A lot of them are. I mean, what about just stopping the reckless driving? These fucking kids, they ride them recklessly too. I've seen them in the street popping wheelies and weaving in and out of traffic. But they're just going to try to make money off this shit, right? So we got a wild story for you guys today. So, let me see. So this one story I'm going to tell you guys about. This is a sad situation right here. So a child was hurt in this crash. McCalla man killed and an 8-year-old was injured in a county crash. This is out of Alabama. A 66-year-old McCalla man was killed June 13th in a motorcycle crash. Authorities say the motorcycle Jeffrey Hunter was driving hit a vehicle driven by a man from Jacksonville, Florida. Hunter was thrown from the motorcycle and hit a Chevrolet pickup truck. Hunter died at the scene. An 8-year-old who was a passenger in the Chevrolet was not using a seatbelt. How do you put an 8-year-old in a car without a fucking seatbelt? I mean, that's just reckless, right? I mean, how do you put an 8-year-old in a car with no seatbelt? So the 8-year-old was hurt at the time. They did not have a seatbelt at the time of the crash. They were injured and taken to the hospital for treatment, according to troopers with the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. The crash occurred around Eastern Valley Road and Foster Road, approximately 3 miles north of Woodstock. And the crash is under investigation. But why would you fucking have a kid not wearing a seatbelt? That's just crazy. OCSO says one person has died in a motorcycle crash near southeast Rochester. According to the Olmsted County Sheriff's Office, motorcyclist died after a crash in southeast Rochester. The crash occurred between a motorcyclist and a pickup truck driver on St. Bridget Road and 48th Street Southeast, which is in the area of Fleet Farm on Highway 63. The driver of the pickup truck was uninjured, according to the Sheriff's Department. Said the area remained closed to through traffic. Law enforcement has not released any further details at this time. You know, there's a lot of people who are at different motorcycle club events, Laconia, and they're either going to Laconia or leaving. I heard there was a pretty big crash up in Laconia and some people got hurt. There was a wild photograph. I don't know if I could show it on here, where these people, this cop got hit, right? And he's like a traffic cop. He has the reflecting vest on. He got thrown in the air. His fucking legs are all in the air. Some chick that was on the back of a motorcycle, she got thrown in the air. Jason, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining me today. Lindsay, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate everything you do for this channel. Diaz, what's up, bro? How are you? If I missed you, I apologize. Jay, what's going on? How are you? Yeah, you don't put an 8-year-old in a car without a seatbelt. The fuck is wrong with people? I mean, you would think some people would have a fucking brain a little bit, right? All right, so we got this story, right? 20, I think they said 15 to 20 motorcycles surrounded this car. This guy uses a helmet as a weapon. He ended up getting arrested. They took him to jail. But he used his fucking helmet as a weapon, right? Motorcyclist surrounded vehicle in Lake in the Hills. One charged with attacking driver with a helmet. It turned the helmet into a deadly weapon. Lake in the Hills police said about 15 to 20 motorcyclists surrounded a vehicle Saturday afternoon, preventing the driver from moving. And at least one rider punched and hit the driver with his helmet multiple times. I mean, that's a fucking deadly weapon. You turned your helmet into a deadly weapon. And they charged his ass with that shit too. So, Julio Salas, 35, of Sleepy Hollow, was charged with alleged attack with aggravated unlawful restraint, aggravated battery in a public place, battery involving the use of a deadly weapon, and that's his fucking helmet. It's a class 3 felony, according to the criminal complaint. He also was charged with mob action, aggravated assault on public property, battery, disorderly conduct, the records show. So, damn, he was charged with a lot of crazy charges. Salas made an initial court appearance Monday afternoon where he was ordered to be detained while he awaits trial, and he's not going anywhere. His lawyer, Pat Walsh, took issue with the charges. Salas used his helmet as a deadly weapon and whether the helmet should even be considered a deadly weapon. He also said there's no markings on the helmet that would indicate he had used it to strike the driver. So he said there's no marks on the helmet, so how could I use it to strike the driver? Is that really his defense? There's no marks on the helmet. Oh, man. But in arguing, Salas should be detained in county jail pre-trial. Assistant attorney Garrett Miller said he poses he's extremely dangerous to the alleged victim, 61-year-old man, as well as the community. So he's a danger to the victim and the community. Miller said the man had hit Salas' motorcycle with his car. So it was an accident, right? While he was in the turning lane, prompting the group of bikers to follow him, surround his car when he pulled over and beat him while he was still seated in the vehicle. This was an extremely violent reaction against a random member of the public in reason to a traffic accident, the prosecutor said. The witness who called 911 said the men were beating the living bleep out of him, Miller said. The prosecutor added that the alleged victim, who suffered bruising and swelling on the head, neck, and chest, said Salas also brandished a knife, which police recovered from Salas. According to the criminal complaint against Salas, the encounter happened at about 4 p.m. Saturday. Police area of Route 31 and Virginia Road near the border of Crystal Lake. Salas is accused of knowingly and intentionally striking the victim in the face and head multiple times with his helmet and his fists, causing bodily harm, including bruising and significant swelling beneath the victim's right eye, according to the complaint. The release of Henry County State's Attorney's Office said that after the alleged attack, Salas and the rest of the group of motorcyclists fled the scene. Responding officers from Crystal Lake Police Department were able to stop most of the riders. The release said that the man who was targeted was brought to the various locations where the motorcyclist had been stopped and was able to identify Salas as the primary aggressor who battered him. Walsh argued that Salas should be released with conditions of GPS monitoring. The attorney said Salas has little criminal history and, based on the risk assessment, has a low chance of recidivism. Isn't that word usually used for people who have been in prison before and they're going up for parole? I didn't think they used it at bond hearings. He also said he has a job and he's the breadwinner for his family and his children, including 2 sets of twins. So he has fucking 4 twins? Holy shit. In detaining Salas, the judge said what led to the alleged beating was traffic dispute and demands a police response. But for 15 to 20 bikers to follow a vehicle, surround it, and then punch and beat the driver with a helmet and take his cell phone. Oh shit, they took his cell phone too. It was not a reasonable response, the judge said, adding, he said, it would be terrifying. It is unclear if the members of the group allegedly involved will face criminal charges. Prosecutors say the incident is still under investigation. But that's crazy. I mean, a fucking helmet will split someone's whole shit. So here's another report of this situation. It says here, road rage or mob justice. Driver surrounded by 20 motorcyclists beaten with helmet after traffic incident. And this is out of Illinois, if you guys didn't know. Same place that situation happened with the pagans and the outlaws that I broke the story on yesterday. What began as a routine traffic collision on a busy Illinois highway quickly escalated into a terrifying scene that prosecutors describe as coordinated assault involving 20 motorcyclists surrounding a vehicle and attacking the driver in broad daylight. The incident that led to serious felony charges against 35-year-old Julio Salas of Sleepy Hollow, Illinois, who authorities allege is the primary aggressor in the attack that left 61-year-old driver injured and fearing for his life. The case has sparked debate over road rage, group violence, or whether a motorcycle helmet can legally be considered a deadly weapon. Traffic mishap turned violent, according to the prosecutors. The confrontation began around 4 p.m. Saturday near the intersection of Route 31 and Virginia Road, closer to the border of Crystal Lake. Authorities allege the victim made contact with Solis's motorcycle while both were traveling in the turning lane. I mean, anyone would be pissed if somebody hit your bike, right? But I don't think that warrants someone smashing you with a fucking helmet. Authorities allege the victim made contact with his motorcycle while they were traveling in the turning lane. What should have ended in an exchange of information and a police report instead escalated into what prosecutors describe as an extremely violent reaction. The state's attorney said, after the collision, the group of approximately 15 to 20 motorcyclists allegedly followed the driver's vehicle until he pulled over. Why the fuck would he pull over if he had all these dudes following him? That's when the situation allegedly spiraled out of control. The driver was trapped and surrounded. Investigators say the motorcyclists surrounded the vehicle, preventing the driver from leaving. The victim remained seated inside the car as members of the group allegedly converged around him. According to prosecutors, Solis then began punching the driver, repeatedly striking him with the motorcycle helmet. Court documents allege the victim suffered bruising, significant swelling under his right eye, as well as injuries to his head, neck, and chest. Witnesses who called 911 reported describing a horrifying scene. According to prosecutors, a caller dispatch said they're beating the living blank out of him. Damn. So the helmet used as a weapon, one of the most heavily contested aspects of the case, involves Solis' use of a motorcycle helmet as a deadly weapon. I mean, I guess it could be considered. What do you guys think? I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you think a motorcycle helmet is a deadly weapon? Defense attorney Pat Walsh challenged the assertion during Solis's detention hearing. Walsh argued that there's no visible markings on the helmet to indicate that he had been used as a weapon, and questioned whether motorcycle helmets should legally qualify as a deadly weapon under Illinois law. But he did brandish a knife, so even if he didn't get charged with the fucking motorcycle helmet, he pulled the knife out too. So I guess he was pretty pissed that somebody hit his bike, right? So additional allegations have surfaced. Prosecutors allege the victim reported that Solis brandished a knife during the confrontation. Authorities later recovered the knife from Solis. According to testimony, in addition to aggravated battery charges, he faces allegations of aggravated unlawful restraint, mob action. I mean, these charges carry a long time in prison, and he has no criminal record either. Aggravated assault and battery, disorderly conduct, and other offenses. Investigators further the claim that the victim's cell phone was taken during the incident, adding another layer to the ongoing investigation. He probably could have been charged with robbery too. During Monday's detention hearing, prosecutors argued that Solis poses a danger not only to the alleged victim, but also to the community. Miller characterized the attack as an act of extreme violence against a random member of the public, stemming from a relatively minor traffic dispute. Defense attorneys countered that Solis has limited criminal history, maintains steady employment, supports his family, and persists low to reoffending. Walsh asked the court to release his client under GPS monitoring, but the judge sided with the prosecutors in ordering Solis held pending trial. So he'll be sitting in there until trial. The judge noted the traffic incidents are situations that call for law enforcement intervention, not vigilante justice. I mean, I could see if you had your kid on the back of the bike or something like that, or the person was drunk, but not hitting them with a fucking helmet in the head. That's a little extreme, don't you think? After the attack, prosecutors said the group fled the scene. Responding officers from the Camp Crystal Lake Police Department reportedly stopped several riders shortly afterwards. Investigators say the victim was transported to locations to various riders had been detained and identified the man as the primary individual responsible for the assault. Police have not ruled out additional arrests, so there probably will be more arrests. And the investigation continues. But for now, this case serves as a stark reminder on how quickly emotions can escalate on the road and how a simple traffic dispute can transform into a criminal case, carrying potential life-changing consequences. As investigators continue to gather evidence, prosecutors say they remain committed to identify everyone involved in what they described was a coordinated and violent attack carried out in full view of the public. And that's one thing they don't like, is when things like this happen and the public gets hurt. That's a bad thing. I mean, that's a bad thing for motorcycle riders in general, you know? Big tough guys picking on an old man. It's crazy. Hey, the Gymster, what's going on, man? Crazy says, hit that like button. It's free. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Jason, what's going on? I don't see it as a deadly weapon, but I'd say serious bodily harm, which is a serious charge. I mean, you could kill someone with a helmet, right? If you hit them hard enough. I mean, fucking helmet is hard, man. Like, it's kind of like having a brick or something, right? It's the same damn thing. It doesn't have any give, I'll tell you that, right? There's no give in a fucking helmet. Right. So there was a house in Burlington, Connecticut. They foreclosed on it, right? Guess what they found in the house? 3 bodies. That's right. They foreclosed on this house. 3 bodies found in auctioned off Burlington home, police state confirmed. Burlington, Connecticut. The skeletal remains of 3 people were found in a Burlington home on Sunday, state police said. The medical examiner's office confirmed that the bodies were brought to it from the home. State police said they responded to the address on Sandwich Lane in Burlington at 4:45 on Sunday. According to police, the new home buyer bought the home as is during a foreclosure auction. The new homeowner discovered the skeletal remains inside. The office of the chief medical examiner has yet to determine the cause of death of the 3 people. However, Trooper said it did not appear to be any criminal aspect. What are you talking about? If there's 3 bodies in the house, how is that not a criminal aspect? What? He said there is no danger to the public. Just 3 dead bodies here, nothing to see. Keep it moving. The identities of the bodies have yet to be confirmed by state police. The investigation remains ongoing. The house was in foreclosure. The house at 7 Sandwich Lane is off a private road and hardly visible to neighbors. Yeah, perfect place to stash a body, right? When the news crews visited the property on Monday, they saw it did not appear anyone was recently living there, except the 3 bodies. One neighbor said they saw an older man emptying trash several months ago. Yeah, but people don't just go into a property and pass away. 3 people? Come on. It says that the news has learned that the house had been foreclosed. An auction was earlier this month. Burlington First Selectman Doug Thompson said he will have more answers when state police release more information. It's safe to say I have been told there's no danger to the community at this time, Thompson said. I really don't want to get into any speculation. Let the police do their investigation is all I have to say, he said. So what do you guys think? They find 3 bodies in this fucking house, and they're saying there's no criminal play in it. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Just keep it moving. What? What? How the hell does that work? 3 bodies, and they don't know what the hell happened, right? So Mount Rib, let's see here. Damn, my fucking computer froze. Damn it. So I can't show you that case, but we're going to talk about this situation. The Bandidos leader who was arrested. They are not messing around. They ain't messing around down there. So this dude was arrested last year, and this case is pretty crazy, right? Hold on a second. Fall of a biker boss. Bandidos president admits to major meth trafficking charges, faces decades behind bars. This is out of Lubbock, Texas. A longtime leader of America's most recognizable outlaw motorcycle clubs now faces the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars. After admitting to a major federal drug trafficking offense, Stephen Glenn Ryals, 72, identified by prosecutors as the president of the Bandidos Motorcycle Club chapter in Lubbock, has pleaded guilty in federal court to possessing large quantities of methamphetamine with the intent to distribute. The guilty plea marks a significant development in the federal investigation targeting drug trafficking activities and alleged connection to members of motorcycle clubs, and highlighting law enforcement's continued focus narcotic operations involving organized criminal groups. Guilty plea ending in lengthy legal battle. According to the federal court records, Ryals admitted responsibility for possessing substantial quantity of methamphetamine intended for distribution rather than personal use. Just personal use. Federal prosecutors contend the amount involved was consistent with drug trafficking. I mean, it's kind of hard to deny it, right? Activities. It was consistent with drug trafficking activities and represented a serious threat to the community, already struggling with devastating impact of the methamphetamine addiction. If the plea agreement is accepted by the court and sentence proceeds as expected, Ryals could face a maximum penalty of 40 years in federal prison. But if he was going to get 40 years, I don't think he would have took a plea like that, right? And usually when they give you a plea, they're going to give you less time than the maximum. If he took it to trial, I could see him getting that, but I don't think he'll get that much time. The final sentence will ultimately be determined by the federal judge after reviewing sentencing guidelines, the defendant's criminal history, and other factors presented by both the prosecutors and the defense attorneys. So he's a veteran motorcycle club leader. he is facing his reckoning. The case has attracted attention because Ryals' leadership role within the Bandidos Motorcycle Club, one of the largest, most well-known motorcycle clubs in the world. It was founded in Texas in the 1960s, and the club expanded internationally and has frequently been the subject of investigations by federal and state local law enforcement agencies. Authorities have long alleged that some members and associates of organization have been involved in criminal enterprises ranging from narcotics trafficking to weapon offenses and violent crime. But that doesn't make the whole club a criminal enterprise. That's what people don't realize. Just because some people get caught up with some stuff, it doesn't mean the club as a whole is a criminal organization. It just doesn't mean that. People don't sign up to be in these motorcycle clubs to get involved with crime. I mean, these people are just regular people. They have jobs. They want to ride motorcycles. They want the brotherhood, right? But the police want everyone to think that they're just criminals on motorcycles. They're just out there. The money's flowing up to the top. Maybe some people get involved with crime, right? But that's not the clubs as a whole. That goes for all of them. I mean, here and there, people get in trouble, right? It happens to every club out there. I'm sure even Iron Order has people who get arrested, right? Former police officers or even cops that are on the job, right? So I seen a thing yesterday, and I'm going to do a show about it this week. They arrested 200 and something bikers out in Canada, right? They arrested 400 police officers out in Canada. So you do the math, 200 something bikers, 400 police officers. So who's the real criminal? Serious question. They arrested 400 cops, but they arrested 200 and something bikers. Who is the real criminal? It's the fucking police. So just because some people get involved with crime, the police are the fucking criminals. They should label them the criminal enterprise. The Bandidos organization has repeatedly stating that it's a motorcycle club and that criminal conduct by individual members should not be attributed to the club as a whole. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Federal officials continue to identify methamphetamine trafficking as one of the most significant public safety challenges facing communities across the United States. Unlike many other narcotics, methamphetamine can be produced cheaply, transported efficiently, and sold for enormous profits. Law enforcement agencies have warned that large-scale distribution networks contributed to addiction, overdose, family breakdown, associated crime in the communities throughout the country. Prosecutors argued that targeting high-level distributors remains a critical component in disrupting those networks. Age doesn't shield defendants from federal sentencing. He's 72 years old. At 72 years old, Ryals is among the older defendants to face serious federal drug charges. However, federal sentencing guidelines are not exempt individuals solely based on their age. He could be 104, and they would give him the same amount of time. It doesn't matter. While defense attorneys may point out health concerns, family circumstances, and advanced age a mitigating factor, prosecutors are expected to emphasize the seriousness of the offense and the quantity of the narcotics involved. So if someone's 100 years old and they go rob a bank, they're going to fucking let him go. Oh, he's old. He doesn't have much time left, so he's good. Come on, they're not going to do that. This is a significant case for federal authorities. The guilty plea represents another victory in the federal prosecutors pursuing major narcotics investigations throughout Texas and the Southwest. Authorities have repeatedly emphasized that individuals who occupy leadership positions within criminal organizations will be held accountable when evidence supports criminal charges. For Royals, the police signals the end of one chapter and the beginning of another, one that could result in a lengthy prison sentence. As the case moves forward for sentencing, federal prosecutors are expected to argue that substantial punishment is warranted, given both the quantity and the defendant's involvement in alleged position and influence within the motorcycle club. The outcome could serve as another reminder of the severe penalties attached to federal drug trafficking convictions and the continued scrutiny faced by individuals linked to organized criminal enterprises. So what do you guys think of that? 72 years old, and he has to start a fresh bid. And he's going to get more than 10 years, probably. It's just sad situation. So, matter of fact, I want to show you the hypocrisies, right, that are going on out there in the motorcycle club community. Let me show you guys a couple things. So, let me see if I have this video for you. Shit, I don't have it. So there was a video, right, of the Iron Order Motorcycle Club. I think they were out in Tampa, Florida. And they had like this cannon thing, right? It was this metal cannon thing on a piece of, it was like a base. It looked like a cannon, like that's on a ship type shit, right? It's like this big. They're packing it with gunpowder, shooting it off right by the bridge in Tampa, right? Now, if that was any other motorcycle club, they would probably be in trouble for doing that, right? But it's okay for them because they're police officers or ex-police officers. Most of them are, a lot of them are still police officers, right? But it's okay for them. It's just very weird. And then they have symbols like this, the 8 in the middle of a diamond. But they're not trying to be outlaw clubs, right? I mean, these are cops that are playing outlaw on the weekend. It's very odd. Very odd. Hey, y'all, I seen the Twin Outlaw Brotherhood. They are rolling deep in Hillcrest, California recently. I don't know who exactly they were doing, though. Yeah, right. Definitely not them. They were rolling deep. What, with 2 members? They went outlaw. Brotherhoods were flying in the rainbow flag. Oh man. Yeah, I highly doubt that. Highly doubt it, man. I seen 15 years. The state case for Texas. He'll do 7.5 most likely. Yeah, let's see. You think 15? I think he'll do, yeah, if he gets 15, he'll do about 7.5. I could see him getting about 15, somewhere in between 15 and 20. Much love and respect. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Man, keep kicking ass. You already know. Thank you for watching, man. I appreciate it. So this dude set up a biker meetup, right? And he did it on the same day that there was a funeral going on. And one of the people from the funeral came up to the bikers and he asked them a question. I'll check this out.
Hey. I guess I never knew all the bikes here. Was Thomas a bike rider? Thomas had a Harley?
I believe so.
Oh, is that right? Oh, great. Yeah, great. I didn't know that. Yeah, cool. All right, have a good one.
You too.
Hey. I guess I never knew all the bikes here. Was Thomas a bike rider? Thomas had a Harley?
I believe so.
Oh, is that right? Oh, great. Yeah, great. I didn't know that. Yeah, cool. All right, have a good one.
You too.
I believe so. He didn't know Thomas. He was just there for a motorcycle club event. He doesn't even know who Thomas is. He's like, yeah. Thomas have a Harley? I believe so. Said, I didn't know that. No, Thomas probably never had a bike in his life. That's hilarious. And hey, So Loud, what's up, man? Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you taking the time. So the Vagos had a big meetup recently. Let's take a look.
60 more fucking years. All right, good job, everybody. That was fucking beautiful. Fucking beautiful. Now you can go back to your...
I think that was somewhere in California. I think it was near San Bernardino or something like that. Damn, I wish I had that other one for you guys. There probably wasn't even a Thomas there. Probably not. Can you imagine that? Dude set up a run right near a funeral was going on. And they're like, I didn't even know Thomas rode. He's like, yeah. He had no clue what he was talking about. Let me see if I could get this article for you guys. You guys hear Jelly Roll file for divorce from Bunny XO. The Rib Mountain Bikers celebrated 80th anniversary with motorcycle show in June. Did you guys hear about this? This is out of Wisconsin. The Rib Mountain Bikers have been around since the 1900s, originally under the name Wasu Motorcycle Club. However, due to both world wars, had to keep disbanding until they officially joined under the American Motorcycle Association in 1946. The club's number 420 under the AMA is now in their 80th years and one of original 65 original clubs. Rib Mountain Riders MC continues to promote motorcycle club events for members to enjoy monthly rides. This helps us to get out into the community, they said. Might help us get more members. Damn, so they've been around for a long fucking time. 80 years, a long time. Let me see if I can show you guys a picture of some of their original. Damn, I don't got the picture. Go check out this book, Banshee Riders. I interviewed the person who wrote that book. And Amazon stopped selling it because of the book cover. They didn't like the book cover. But Banshee Riders, go check it out. Here, I'll put a link. It's about motorcycle clubs in the 1980s, the Midwestern biker culture. And I interviewed the author of this book. He was in a club. Go check out the interview. It's called Banshee Riders. I'll put a link in the description of this video too if you guys want to check it out. So in other news, we got one more story for you guys. No muff too tough. No muff too tough. So in other news, the Comancheros are in the news. Let me see. Let's see. Champagne, designer labels, and millions in drug cash. Comanchero's boss denies running South Island criminal empire. Christchurch, New Zealand. A high-profile organized crime trial has captivated New Zealand as prosecutors allege the national commander of the Bandidos Motorcycle Club was living a lavish lifestyle funded by multi-million-dollar drug trafficking enterprise that flooded the communities with methamphetamines and other illicit substances. At the center of the vast case is Vateka Nafu, I think that's how you say it, who stands accused alongside alleged Comancheros nominees and associates. I can't pronounce their names. Wire Matoki or something like that. And Peter Lito and Richard Dodd. The four men are currently on trial in a high court of New Zealand in Christchurch, where prosecutors allege they played key roles in organized criminal network responsible for distributing vast quantities of drugs throughout New Zealand's South Island. So I'll let you guys know what happens with this whole case. And we'll be talking about a bunch of other things tomorrow. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this show. Stay tuned for tonight. New interviews dropping. Join the membership so you could see the new interviews before they drop on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great day. If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mother's, brother's, sister's friend about Chattin With Staxx, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. I appreciate all you guys. And remember, don't be a bitch. Peace.
And all new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged. And investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.